this is Cam from the Brother Slim, and we are here for some Enormity updates time. Going to be doing some traveling, so not going to be able to cover them real time, and realistically covering them every single day is a little unrealistic too with work and all that kind of good stuff. But yeah, so here we are with some updates. The campaign page has been updated a little bit too. It's a ginormous scroll, so we're not going to be able to showcase every single change. But I thought I would just go to this one really quick. So this is the Scourge expansion. They live in the walls and soon inside you. Indeed. So the update that's been made is this. So the species Paramollusca parasitica, the wall rats. They are not screaming turnip things from Harry Potter. They are horrible, gribbly, birthed tentacle people things. Which kind of turned this expansion to something I wasn't really interested in, to, oh my god, that's pretty creepy and cool. Probably intentional too, but the way the tentacles are spiraled kind of gives me DNA strand vibes too, which is interesting, especially with how it's in between like that too, which is pretty cool. I was looking at all the names too, and so all of the names for the critters are Latin, I believe, or at least like based in Latin. And so all of them have meanings, and Into the Unknown definitely has done that intentionally. So I might do a little video kind of cruising through like what we can gauge by the Latin roots. If I remember this one, para means like, yeah, I can't remember. I looked it up the other day. But I might do a little video on that just so we can kind of get an idea of what the expansions are going to kind of be about. Because very much like the Aeon Trespass cycles, I'm guessing that each story is going to be closely tied into the mechanics and the critters that you're fighting, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so let's go ahead and go into the updates here. So starting with update number 1, Enormity is funded. Alrighty, Roo. So, and we're funded. Thank you guys and gals. Just like our previous projects, Enormity couldn't happen without crowdfunding, without you. Your trust and your support. With that, Enormity will become a reality, and this is just the first day of 15. As always, we've planned a thrilling voyage for you, full of surprises, stretch goals, secrets, competitions, and more. You've already done more than enough for us, and we will work hard to repay you with a great game full of content. If I could ask one more thing of you, we're still an indie company with a limited marketing reach, so we will be very grateful if you could spread the word of this campaign to your friends and social media channels. With the right number of backers, we can do anything. Indeed. Okay, I got carried away, but let's dive into this update. So there's a ton to get into. Here's a primer. You know what, we're just going to skip this because it's all the stuff that we're going to be reading in the first place. But the last one's actually going to do that. Okay. So, Enormity Kickstarter campaign rules. 1. Update schedule. Firstly, we'll be posting an update every 1 to 2 days, starting with this. I reserve the right to post surprise updates. Yes, please. Love me some ITU updates. Among other things, those updates will discuss unlock stretch goals and reveal new ones. Remember, all the new stuff that we unlock will be automatically added to your pledge for free. 2. ITU in the comments. We'll be monitoring the Kickstarter comments constantly, listening to your feedback, and doing our best to address your questions. Although we can't respond to every question, please know that we read them all. If your question goes unanswered, check the FAQ and updates. We're committed to keeping them up to date with helpful information. You can always check our FAQ section. It contains campaign basics as well as some answers to gameplay questions we've already received. Not a pre-order, a prototype. I cannot stress this enough. I echo that to the fullest. What we're showing you today is a glimpse of what Enormity can offer. It's a prototype, a work in progress, still being tweaked and balanced. It's not a finalized game ready for printers, which is a good thing too, as we can take your feedback into account. See below. This one I want to hammer home. I actually debated on making a video about it before launch, but didn't have time and I couldn't figure out how to get Wayback Machine to work, or it didn't have a time-lapsed thingamajig version of their crowdfunding campaign last. But words are hard. What am I trying to say? Kingdoms Forlorn, I think, is a huge example of this. That was their second big campaign outing. And like what they showed on the crowdfunding page versus how that page looked like by the end of the campaign, bonkers crazy. And then also add that to like how the most recent GameFound Pledge Manager looks, just with all of the updated assets and such. Like, this is like a real true kind of crowdfunding company where they're selling an idea with like the skeleton of what it's going to be like, and then once it looks like what by the time it's done is crazy. Tricky thing for them as a company, in my opinion at least, is that in doing so and like having so many secrets and reveals throughout, my assumption is there's a fair amount of folks that just check out day one because there's, in this case, like there's such a huge scroll to get through, but then also there's not a huge amount of content shown from what's actually going to be on offer. Thoughts and feelings though. Okay, be respectful. Please be kind and respectful to your fellow backers and to our team. For many of them, it is their first crowdfunding and they're good people too. Indeed, respect is key. Critique and criticism is really good, but do it respectfully, constructively. That is important. Our game may not be perfect for everyone. We're known for our quirks, but we welcome constructive discussion about mechanics and systems as long as it is offered in a respectful and calm manner. Especially because your voice matters. Community is what allowed Into the Unknown to flourish, and your satisfaction is at the core of what we do. We're thrilled to invite you on this journey with us. As already mentioned, Enormity is a work in progress, and we'd like to invite you to co-create it with us. We sincerely look forward to your input to make the game even better. We have some exciting stuff planned, but we also look forward to hearing your ideas. More on that later on here too. What's the story? Glad you asked. Enormity is an enormous game. That pun's already been used to death, but I'm here for it. With the core box delivering not one, not two, but 4 distinct narrative campaigns. That's on top of the custom campaigns you can brew. It's pretty freaking sick, by the way. That is a lot of stuff. So, as I think the first cycle of Aeon Trespass was advertised as being like on average around 40 hours. I think we've clocked in around like 50, maybe 60, but we did mess up some rules and we ended up playing it longer than we needed to. Low-key ended up losing because of the result, but like it's too big of a game and we don't get him enough to play it officially, so we just kept going. Don't tell Marcin. Alrighty, so each of these campaigns touches on an aspect of the Shepherd's mission and ultimate fate. You can play them in any order, though we suggest you start with Dark Side of the Sun, and each is complete whole with beginning, middle, and end, but at the same time they've been designed to complement each other. Yeah, it's a big thing in there. Once again, I've only completed Cycle 1 of Aeon Trespass, but how the mechanics tie into the story and how that becomes relevant and is kind of wrapped in a nice little bow by the end is really cool. I like it. And not, like, really easy to guess what's going on and such, too. It's a great little intro story. So here's the narrative hooks for each. If you prefer listening to reading, we've prepared voiceover intros to each of them. Simply click on the YouTube video and you're golden, much like the sun in that piece of art there, too. So not going to click through these. Narration's fantastic, and they're teases of what we can expect from the app once it's unlocked, because I assume we'll reach that point. So cool to see the art. Assimilation, very cool. 3 Laws of Heresy, great names. A Tale of Two Aliens. I'm designing a new game, you know. You might have heard of it. It's called Enormity. It has spacemen in it and terrifying aliens, and a disturbingly delicious narrative. Hard science fiction meets fantasy and horror, like that old movie I'd love to watch and rewatch. What was it? Alien? Aliens? Great story, great sets, great acting, great director. Ridley Scott, the guy from Gladiator 2. Or was it the other great director? Cameron. James Cameron. He also did that other great one. Oh, what was it? With the 80s action star. Oh yes, The Abyss. So a game like that. You see what I did there? I hope you do. I love Marcin's writing. Repetition and questions are such a strong tool. I think repetition can be easily overused, and I think he threads the line so wonderfully. Okay, 1979's Alien redefined science fiction as surely as Star Wars did 2 years later. Both spawned extended universes spanning movies, books, games, and more. But unlike the Skywalker saga, the Aliens franchise was never afraid to redefine itself. Valid. Alien was a nail-biting horror with cutting-edge special effects and an atmosphere you could cut with a knife. Slowly built up tension, the growing helplessness, the alienation of the characters, and then a striking finale. It was Hitchcockian in its delivery, shocking in its imagery, I think, not least of which because of H.R. Geiger's artistic direction, freshly poached from the failed Jodorowsky's Dune project. It was Scott's second motion picture. The sequel, Aliens, smartly didn't even try to imitate that. James Cameron, in his second stint at director, or third if you count Piranha 2, but who does, decided to make a different kind of movie. An action thriller instead of a horror, with strong, not weak protagonists. Higher stakes that also move the franchise's story forward. Aliens is cocky, aggressive, and loud, and endlessly enjoyable. Instead of a single stalking xenomorph, you get a whole nest, with a queen monster no less. And it works brilliantly. The series' movie history from that point on is turbulent to say the least, but even among the less successful outings, there is this feeling of innovation, of discovery, an urge to move past what was, and again redefine the franchise for a new audience. From the penal colony of Aliens 3, what at one point would have been a wooden planet made of monks, or not made of monks, of monks, which is, regardless, it's a wild idea, to the questions of creation and divinity of Prometheus and Covenant. Man, I wanted to love those 2 movies, but the people are just so hard to like. The choices that they make. Those first 2 movies, though, what a treat. Love them both, and would happily see both of those directions, tense horror and action thriller, continue. I did quite enjoy Romulus. Now, 20-odd years later, after my first few viewings, I can do one better. I can realize it myself. That's what I'm crafting Enormity into. A game that moves between those 2 extremes, from slow tension-building stealth moments where you can learn the horrifying backstory, advance your personal narratives, and truly try to figure out what to do, how to win, or, failing that, how to survive. Then see those blips converging to guns blazing breakthroughs or retreats with alien intruders crawling out of every crawl space, ammo running out, and bodies beginning to drop. Each mission extraction should be tense and bloody. Juggling the two would be difficult feat for a 100-minute movie, but I'm making a campaign game, and, within its constraints, it works lovely. And thank God for that! And board games that enable it. Indeed! Very cool. You'll probably hear about more Enormity really soon. Indeed. Until then, go watch Aliens, both of them. Once again, that's just a layover because this was, I think, a design diary or newsletter piece. Ooh, the grin looks suitably creepy and cruel. Nasty. Alrighty, so gameplay and videos. Just gonna scroll past this. There's all kinds of great videos that you can watch if you'd like to. Definitely quite a fan of Meet Me at the Table, so I enjoyed that. Alrighty, stretch goals for this campaign. Oh yes, stretch goals. As always, we're bringing our A game with a varied assortment of SGs that enhance the game physically, aesthetically, and gameplay-wise. From new mechanics to new minis, all stretch goals are crowdfunding exclusive and will not be offered after the Pledge Manager phase. There are 3 types of goals. As always, we have monetary goals. The more money we can raise during the crowdfunding campaign, the more we can offer. These are true stretch goals. They have not been budgeted in the original core game, and they will become available only if you receive the necessary funds to scale production. So, if Enormity is something you'd like to see happen with the most content possible, it's time to pledge and tell your friends. Then there's community goals. These will be fun little games and challenges we prepared for you to engage with us, your fellow backers, and learn about Enormity and just have a good time. Finally, throughout the campaign, we'll be revealing new surprise stretch goals that will be automatically added to your pledge for free. So that's kind of what I was talking about with a lot of their campaigns leave things in reserve. So it makes for a lot of excitement and fun, but I do think it results in losing some backers on day one. Or people that check out and don't really see how much value is actually on offer. We're known to plan ahead, so some of our stretch goals are already decided. However, we want this campaign to be a truly crowd-run endeavor, so we will actively listen to your feedback and wishes and work hard to tailor our stretch goal plan to your needs. If our community comes up with a great idea, if it's feasible within the bounds of production and economy, we will try to make it happen. And here are the monetary goals you've already unlocked, quite a few. Day 1 surprise unlocked, new suits, the Moth suit. So this is tied into the Mothman Bow Sky from the first campaign. Yes, we're starting with the stretch goals right now. The Moth suit is added to the 12 suit cards already included in the core game. If you want to include it, if you want to be a survivor in space, you need to learn to improvise to evolve beyond what you were when you left Earth space. Oftentimes, this means integrating alien technology into your own. The Moth suit is a powerful mid-game suit crafted by a wreck of a dead Mothman. It provides superior mobility not only thanks to its solar sail ability, but thanks to its versatile move actions that allow its wearer to move through intruders. With the Moth suit, you will avoid early game blips and intruders with ease. Very cool. And it is indeed in the demo, which is fun. Suits make half of your character build, as not only do they provide Rubicon bonuses, vitality levels, and unique abilities, they also influence how many gear slots you have. Each new suit comes with a miniature or standee, as well as an oversized suit card. Yeah, so there's an example. It's kind of hidden from you there. And a new character, the Redirected. Professor Shorik Haber Ackerman, I'm going to be butchering that for sure, served in the NASF's Office of the Administrator until her abrupt resignation. In the past, before moving into robotics, she was a trainee for the space program. Each new character comes with an oversized character card and a unique progression tree, broadening your character creation options. Cool. New gear, NOOS Armory. 4 weapons. 4 new contraband weapons and gear from NOOSS, or S, the corporation that runs all Earth-based IT networks. Supposedly, these weapons can have their caps removed and be overclocked. Fun. New suits, the Visionary PSI-1. Cool, I like that. Ponchos are sick. Based on an NASF experimental prototype design, the Visionary suit offers both mundane and psychoactive defense measures. In other words, this light suit has some limited radiation protection, as well as a psycho-resistance buffer array, which blocks many types of antinomy, I gotta figure out how to actually properly pronounce that, phenomena. The Visionary suit is a versatile mid-game suit crafted from a cracked environmental shell of a dead Agni journeyman, and I don't think we know what that is yet. The alien intruder showing an extended mastery of one of the fundamental forces of creation, strong nuclear force. So this suit has a high radiation threshold, Radiation is a bad token you can get, and if you get 5 of them, you die. So my assumption is this might bump up that threshold. There's very similar mechanics in Aeon Trespass. Contributes nuclear spacer tokens and makes the wearer resistant to psionic attacks. So new tokens, cool. And so this is the other half of your character. And also influence how many gear slots you have. Yes. Boss Power Up Pack, 6 standard cards. When a Mothman reaches the end of their life cycle, a miracle happens, or so the signals insist. However, were to be halted on the cusp of transcendence, the gates of heavens close before the host forever. Them themselves transformed into a beautiful fallen angel, cursed to wander the universe until all drowns in atomic fire. This AI BP/trait pack will allow you to transform the Mothman into the iridescent angel. This is cool, I like it. So this is kind of like what their Black Beak Hermesian Pursuer release from their Black Friday sale is kind of like, where it alters current fights and kind of turns it into a unique one, in this case, the iridescent angel. Reminds me kind of Kingdom Death vignette fights kind of idea. I like it. Very, very cool. Alrighty, so new location, Solar Array Annex. The Solar Array Annex was made inaccessible by whatever disaster struck the Shepherd's forward solar ring. Now the location becomes accessible, though it may require a little spacewalk. Hope you brought something more. Spacewalk sounds fun. Cool. Locations are the living, breathing heart of Enormity as they expand the boundaries of our open world, creating more intricate layouts and allowing for more playthrough permeations. Yes, more space. And I'd say the Enormity is the perfect example of always bigger on the inside. All right, new Endomian armory gear. 4 new contraband weapons from the Endomian Corporation, Earth's first corpo church. Heck yeah. These guns were guaranteed to be consecrated by the priests of spacism, if you believe that kind of thing. Here for it, that sounds sick. All right, pledge level and add-on spotlights. There are 3 pledges available at the start of the campaign, 1 for the baseline core game, 1 for the deluxe special edition, and 1 for all currently available gameplay add-ons, which include additional campaigns, locations, characters, suits, and intruders. You can check out the Scourge campaign expansion below. While this isn't the final lineup, more will be added as the campaign progresses. You cannot go wrong with either one. One thing I noticed on the other campaign page when I looked at it right away on the first day is there's like a little disclaimer of content like in the expansions to be added section that said, I think, like Gore Planet. So I guess there is some sort of horrible fleshy abominations in visiting a planet rather than it being on the ship. Just implying from the name. So estimated retail, or maybe not retail because it might not come to retail, but later value, what it currently is. Would love to spend that much money, but just do not have that disposable income right now. But if anyone does, you're going to get a whole lot of amazing game, that's for sure. And there we go. So special edition, this is where I'm currently at, and I think I'm probably going to add a favorite expansion or 2 during the Pledge Manager. And for anyone like stuck on a budget, worried about money, just get this for the base one. There's going to be so much game just included in it already. And then there is the basic with the standees. Good stuff. Add-ons. We have an array of add-ons for you to choose from, most of them cosmetic, based on feedback we received from you in our previous campaigns. Cosmetic add-ons are completely optional. They don't contain new gameplay and are here for discerning backers who want to bling out either a game or just show support. Then we have gameplay add-ons, mostly in the form of giant new campaign expansions. I'm like kind of blown away and surprised that they have 4 already and that there's going to be more. Pretty bonkers. These include everything you need to run a brand new narrative campaign, as well as custom campaigns, a new story, new course cards, new locations, new intruders, including bosses, new characters, new suits, new gear, new mechanics, and much more. Before discussing details, it's important for you to learn of their creation process. We plan the evolution of our games and storylines years in advance, and we have an extensive pre-production to make sure our worlds extend beyond the horizon and offer an unprecedented feeling of an immense, living, interconnected universe. Just want to comment on that too. So their first crowdfunding campaign for Aeon Trespass was, I think, in 2019. That's basically now finally all delivered. However, they also worked on a huge amount of the assets for 12 Sons of Heracles, which was, I think, this year did that campaign go, or maybe last year now, I can't remember. But it was all laying the groundwork way back before the original campaign. They definitely think long term. Okay, however, for us, the main development goal of Enormity was to make the core game complete, varied, and brimming with content. Consequently, add-ons are completely optional and not required to enjoy the full game. They've also not been cut from the core game, and their development will not impact the core game timeline. Yep, echoing that for Aeon Trespass as well. A little bit different for 12 Sons of Heracles because while they are standalone stories, you don't get to the full finale of fighting your semi-deific papa unless you do the winter or spring. No, spring's the last one. Just thoughts on the expansion structure here so far. There's not like a huge amount that's really on display for like what you actually get beyond like the bare bones content, which I won't be surprised if it's expanded upon a little bit. Because like one sort of gribbly alien and one boss seems kind of light, but I don't know, we'll see. Looking forward to more spotlights on them. But just looking at the names of the gribbly critters and the art of the critters, they all definitely like exemplify a certain type of story. Yeah, so self-contained in with their own little themes, I would say. Alrighty. Okay, so yeah, expansion development will not impact core game timeline. So now that we got that out of the way, what are these expansions? Each of the major campaign expansions ventures into a new niche of the Enormity world, either a new part of the massive ship, the Shepherd, or off-world for a brand new full-length campaign against a brand new intruder faction with new bosses and new mechanics. Each offers new branches of character development and new suits and new gear and new types of gear, which you can use in the expansion campaign as well as in every other campaign. Same goes for the intruders and locations. Cool. If you're curious how we go about developing expansions and what abundance of content you will receive, check out our community reactions to the just delivered Aeon Trespass Odyssey expansions, which almost doubles the playing time, which is insane. Okay, then it touches on the reinforcement pack, which is basically just a whole bunch of extra versions of the gear in the core game, so that if you wanted to really theory craft different gear, you could. Because I think there's usually just like one or two in the base game. Okay, so Scourge Campaign Spotlight. Cool art. This is the rat catcher here. Includes a box. I don't think you need to include the box, but that's cool. One rat catcher, otherwise known as a multi-locus exterminator. So once again, there's going to be some Latin root words in there to kind of get an idea what the gribbly critter is all about. One RT Exterminator Hazard spacesuit miniature and standee. 10 wall rats, which are those horrible, horrible things we looked at the very beginning. 2+ characters, 2+ suits. So that these 2+ suits are in addition to the exterminator is my read on that. So just some other options too. 6+, or there's a tentacle suit. Ooh. 6+ oversized cards, bunch of other goodies, bunch of good sheets. So yeah, 2+ monster sheets just kind of gives, it's the reading that there's going to be more than 2 is kind of the implication there. Scourge campaign books and 2 Scourge location books, which is cool. So there is cool. We'll read this instead of doing the video. So mission log, NASF chemistry, time unknown. I hear them in the walls, scraping. They spread across the Shepherd like a virus, squeeze through cracks in the hull, through bulkhead, through vac-sealed airlocks. They slither into our EVA suits and do the devil's work. Until you don't recognize yourself. Until you want to die, but you don't. You bloom like a helix flower. You overflow with more of them. So helix DNA structure, kind of that implication of the artwork once more. I hear them, even now. Old NASF records tell of an encounter with a life form at the dig on Luna. Full report is classified, but the site was nuked from orbit. We do not have nukes. We have nothing. I hear them coming, squeezing through. Oh god. Gross. Scourge is a challenging, difficult campaign that should take you 30 to 45 hours to complete. And the challenging to difficult, from my understanding, and I think I said it earlier in the update from the update's text, is that doesn't mean there's a specific order to do it in. It just means don't do it first, and it might be a little bit more challenging, but like you're welcome to do it whenever you like. With the recommendation that if you're new to the game, start with Dark of the Side of the Sun, or whatever it's called. Alrighty, on to the next update here. There we go. Actually, what are we at funding-wise now, too? Just for fun here. Over 600. Very cool. Another day aboard the Shepherd, a Grey Death campaign spotlight. Hi, Spacers. We're still overwhelmed by your incredible support. Thank you for making this campaign such an unforgettable ride already. It's shaping up to be an epic rollercoaster of a journey, and we're very happy to have you with us every step of the way. Huzzah! Community unlocks. You've done it again. With your incredible efforts, you've unlocked the first 3 community stretch goals, and we couldn't be more excited to share what's coming next. Keep spreading the word, completing challenges, and having fun together, because the whole adventure is just beginning. Let's take a look at the amazing new content you've unlocked so far. Woo! Okay, so message from home. Strange signs. Who were you before you enlisted in the faithful mission to the Shepherd? What happened to you back home? Were you driven to come? Or were you running away from your problems? Or maybe you know much more about this return and the ship's original flight to begin with. Messages from Home is a new type of adventure meant to give players new character options while enriching both their backstories and the game's intrigue. Kind of reminds me of some things in Aeon Trespass. So like there's the main story things, then there's what they call adventure hubs, which are related directly to the like campaign that you're playing. And although they provide a whole bunch of info into like the world and the story, like they're not needed, and you might not get all of them in a single playthrough. And then there's also R&R stories, which are much more lighthearted as well. So all kinds of cool little things. Okay, onwards we go. New specialization, cryptozoologist. You're probably wondering, what on earth is a specialization? In simplest terms, a specialization is akin to a character. It has a name, special abilities, and its own Rubicon bonuses stat line. It's also got its own character progression tree. However, unlike a character, it's not unique, and you cannot simply choose to start with it. A specialization is earned through your original character's progression tree. In other words, it's like an advanced class you can switch to once your character gains enough experience and has this class on its progression tree. So, cryptozoologist sounds very scientist-based, but that might not be the case for every scientist. In the core game, each character belongs to a certain division and has access to 2 advanced specializations. Yeah, I could be wrong there then. With this unlock, cryptozoologist specialization is added to each science division character, broadening their progression options. Okay, cool. So all scientists get this. NASF Coventry didn't take zoologist because no one expected you to find alien life here. You found plenty of alien life, most of it hostile, all disturbing, and none of it makes sense. High time one of you brushed up on your biology, not Xeno, crypto. The crypto, so Xeno and crypto, I don't know the difference actually. Cryptozoologist studies the intruders you're facing, trying to find effective ways of combating them. Cool. New antinomy power, Void Breath. What is antinomy? What is enormity? The universe is infinitely vast and unfathomable. There are things you will see, hear, or experience that neither you nor anyone else will be able to explain or comprehend. Things that you might as well call magic. Some of you may learn to tap into this phenomena, steer their unknowable flow, become a conduit. This stretch goal introduces a new conduit into the game, the Void Breath, a seemingly unnatural force that makes life go backwards. Players who touch this conduit will be able to call it in their hour of need, when they awaken during flatlining. Cool, so awakening is a mechanic in Aeon Trespass. I don't know if it's in Kingdoms Forlorn, but basically when you would die, you instead essentially go Super Saiyan and power up, which is pretty sweet. Okay, new tasks have just appeared in the campaign, including 20 Comets Challenge. Last time I checked, I think that was already beaten. Exploring the Shepherd, what the one item you bring. Not technically an item, but I said plenty of red shirts. Among the prizes is a brand new scenario for the TTS demo, which is getting closer with every goal unlocked. Don't forget, the first 2 scenarios are already available for you to enjoy. Explore the Shepherd and take on the Mothman boss right there. Right there, right there. Sweet. So tonight, as of this video going up, I'm going to see if I'm able to squeeze in finishing the Extraction run demo. I'm hoping to, can't guarantee it, but I would like to. It'd be sweet to get it done before I go, and then go on the work trip, come back, and fight the Mothman. Would be a pretty good way to end an awesome fun trip. So we'll see, schedule notwithstanding and such too. New stretch goals. NASF Armory. 4 weapons. 4 new weapons, experimental designs from the NASF's Project Division. Though highly potent against all forms of organic life, they can behave unpredictably. Interesting. New suit, the Contraband Combat S1. Not everyone boarded the Shepherd with good intentions, and it seems your mission has not fared any better when it comes to deceitful passengers. NASF has a strict combat arms policy, restricting crews to semi-lethal plastic dumb ammunition and non-plated armor. Someone has broken this policy, bringing in contraband items, including the Contraband Combat Suit. The suit is an early level suit you can loot from some contraband containers, craft in a safe house, in parenthesis, because in actuality you're bartering for it with a rogue faction. That's an interesting, fun little nod. So there are going to be other, I guess it doesn't necessarily imply other people, but the fact that it is a human suit makes it seem likely. Very likely. It's all about supporting you in firefights, from a long-range light source to an aggressive Rubicon stat line. Suits make half your character ability, so we know about that. That's just copied and pasted from elsewhere. Double Loot Divider. What it says on the box, this is a quality of life improvements, making the loot dispenser double in size to handle 2 biomes at once for those spacer teams that like to rush through the ship. Each unlock brings us closer to making Enormity bigger, better, and more immersive than ever. Nice. I like the sound of that, because obviously if you're in one book section and then you leave that section into another, it might be an entirely new biome instead of like in the same area of the ship. So cool. Robodog or Cybercat? You decide. One of our community members, Derry Carey, left us a fantastic comment suggesting a therapy dog for the spacers. We absolutely love the idea, but as our team is split between dog and cat enthusiasts, we couldn't settle on just one. So here's a plan. We're working on creating both a Robodog and Cybercat, and in the future, you'll get to vote for your favorite one, and that'll make it to the final game. But first, we need to finish their concept art. Check out the sketches below. Organic tissue detected, fun stuff. So we got Cyber Pupper and Cyber Kit Kat. Think about which companion you prefer to have by your side on the shepherd, a loyal Robodog or a clever Cybercat. Stay tuned for updates and let the great debate begin. I like them both, but definitely pro Doggo personally. We're thrilled to share something special with you today. One of our Polish board game YouTubers, Zaku Board Games, has taken some truly stunning photos. The detail and care put into these shots are simply breathtaking. Check them out for yourself. Yeah, that's a pretty stunning shot. The grinner's so creepy. I love him. Yep, those are some excellent photos for sure. I love that. Gray Death Campaign Spotlight. So includes, they removed box from this one. Makes sense. So one gray Survivor Suit miniature standee, one Gene Splicer, Canis Tyrannus. So once again, Canis Tyrannus is definitely some Latin lingo going on there. And then Canis Leprosus Intruder, miniatures and standees. So 2+ characters, 1+ suit in addition to the gray Survivor one. Other goodies, 3 monster sheets. So I wonder if this one's a little bit more set then. Gray Death Campaign book and 2 Gray Death location books. All right, so another mission log. It shimmers in the corner of my vision. Its giant lobe-like black eyes probe me. Unseen mouth whispers incomprehensible words. My pulse rises. My breath quickens. Fear grips me by the throat, and I cannot continue, not with it stalking me. I turn around, and erratic light strikes the corridor. Nothing there, they reassure me. Never was. It's nerves getting to you. They don't understand. They weren't there. The Gray Death is real. The dissection table is real. The things he did to me, he disemboweled me, or disassembled me, layer by layer, organ by organ, like a watchmaker taking apart a watch. I was awake the whole time, powerless to move, but felt every cut. They don't believe me. There are no scars. I nod in agreement. No point in resisting. They'll just think I've lost my mind. We resume our march. I see him again. He wants something from me, and he knows I will give it to him eventually, because he knows me, inside and out. Gross. Gray Death is a challenging, difficult campaign and should take you 30 to 45 hours to complete. Cool. So once again, like that and the artwork like really give off a certain kind of vibe. Very much like kind of reminds me of the old Mars Attack movie back in the day when the people get their heads put onto dogs, like just in a much more gross, mature fashion. So I don't know if this is, I don't think this is a expansion highlight. I saw someone from ITU in the comments mention that expansion highlights, or not highlights, what's the term for it? Like a proper breakdown of the expansions are coming, and then they're on the way. So I feel like this is just a high touch one, which I hope is the case, because this is cool, and it gives you an idea of what to expect, but it really doesn't show much. And having some idea, even if it's just digital assets or work in progress stuff, will, I think, be a lot stronger than just some of like the flavor text and content list, for lack of better words. But the campaign has just started. This is literally only day 2. So lots of fun things to await our discovery on this massive ship. So much love. Thank you for tuning in. Let me know if you got any thoughts, questions, or feelings on the campaign in the comment section. And we'll see you next time. Bye.